Hi Kipsters, and welcome to a first grade read aloud lesson. Today we're going to be reading the first chapter of one of my favorite books called Owl at Home. Our goal for today is to be able to answer some questions about this first chapter, including answering questions about the characters, the actions, right? We're thinking really about those key details. What's a key detail again? That's right. A key detail is an important part of the story. So, all you have to do right now is just listen. Enjoy this first chapter while I read it aloud to you. Take a look at the photos. Start thinking about those key details because at the end, we're going to answer some questions together. All right. Sit back, relax, put your thinking cap on. I've got my Cornell shirt ready to go. Owl at Home. Chapter 1, The Guest. Owl was at home. How good it feels to be sitting by this fire, said Owl. It is so cold and snowy outside. Owl was eating buttered toast and hot pea soup for supper. Owl heard a loud sound at the front door. Who is out there? Banging and pounding at my door on a night like this, he said. Owl opened the door. No one was there, only the snow and the wind. Owl sat near the fire again. There was another loud noise at the door. Who can it be? Said Owl, knocking and thumping at my door on a night like this. Owl opened the door. No one was there. Only the snow and the cold. The poor old winter is knocking at my door, said Owl. Perhaps it wants to sit by the fire. Well, I will be kind and let the winter come in. Owl opened the door very wide. Come in, Winter, said Owl. Come in and warm yourself for a while. Winter came into the house. It came in very fast. A cold wind pushed Owl against the wall. Winter ran around the room. It blew out the fire in the fireplace. The snow whirled up the stairs and whooshed down the hallway. Winter, cried Owl, you are my guest. This is no way to behave. But Winter did not listen. It made the window shades flap and shiver. It turned the pea soup into hard green ice. Winter went into all the rooms of Owl's house. Soon, everything was covered with snow. You must go, Winter, shouted Owl. Go away, right now. The wind blew around and around. Then Winter rushed out and slammed the front door. Goodbye, called Owl, and do not come back. Owl made a new fire in the fireplace. The room became warm again. The snow melted away. The hard green ice turned back into soft pea soup. Owl sat down in his chair and quietly finished his supper. The end. Okay, Kipsters. So, like I said before, our goal today is to answer some questions about key details from this chapter. We already remembered that a key detail is an important part of the story. Okay, first I just want you to watch me answer a question about this chapter. If my question was, who does Owl let into his house? The first thing I need to ask myself is, what am I looking for? This is a who question, right? And I know that a who question is looking for a person. So when I ask who, that means my answer has to be a person. Or in this case, somebody who's representing a person, right? So who does Owl let into his house? So I know I'm looking for a person. The next thing I need to do is think about where in my story I need to go back to find this information. So I need to flip through my story and think, where does it talk about who Owl lets into his house? Oh, here I see a picture of Owl opening the door and letting someone into his house. So that tells me that this is the page that I really want to focus on. Okay, now that I figured out what I'm looking for and where in the book to look for my answer, I need to reread and figure out some clues in the words and pictures that help me answer my question. So remember, I'm looking for who did Owl let into the house? No one was there, only the snow and the cold. The poor old winter is knocking at my door, said Owl. Perhaps it wants to sit by the fire. Well, I will be kind and let the winter come in. Did you hear the answer to my question? Let me reread that last part again. If you hear who Owl is letting into his house, I want you to just wiggle your fingers, all right? The poor old winter is knocking at my door, said Owl. Perhaps it wants to sit by the fire. Well, I will be kind and let the winter come in. Oh, so I know by rereading this part of the story that the who that Owl let into the house was actually the winter, right? He let the cold and the wind come into his house. Interesting. Okay, now I want you to try one. If my question is, what is the first thing that winter does when it comes into Owl's house? I want you to think about our first step. The first step is figuring out what I'm looking for in my answer. So the question is, what is the first thing winter does? What is the first thing winter does when it comes into the house? It's a what question. What is the first thing that winter does? If you know what I'm looking for, wiggle your fingers at me. Call out the answer. That's right. A what question is looking for a thing. In this case, it's looking for an action because it's looking for what the winter does. That's my key word there. So I'm looking for an action. What is the first thing that winter does when it comes into the house? Okay, where am I going to look for this answer? Where am I going to look for this answer? I'm going to flip through the book. When you see the page that shows the first thing that winter does, I want you to yell, stop, all right? You're right, it's right here. This is where winter first comes into the house. This is the page that I need to go back to figure out the first thing that winter does, right? Because I'm not looking for the last thing. I'm not looking for the second thing. I want to know right when winter comes to the house, what is the first thing he does? So I'm going to reread this page. When you hear the answer to my question, touch your nose. Winter came into the house. It came in very fast. A cold wind pushed Owl against the wall. Oh my gosh, are you touching your nose already? You're right. It tells me right here the very first thing winter does. A cold wind pushed Owl against the wall, right? The first thing winter does is it pushes Owl against the wall. That's not very nice of winter. Okay, really good job, Kipsters, figuring out that action to answer my question. All right, I've got one more for you. I think I'm going to trick you with this one. Let's see. Here's my question. How does Owl feel after he lets winter into his house? How does Owl feel when he lets winter into his house? All right, Kipsters, we know first thing I need to figure out what I'm looking for in my answer. I'm asking a how question. What is a how question looking for? What is a how question looking for? I want to see those hands. Yeah, call it out. What is a how question looking for? That's right, a how question is looking for a way. In this case, I'm asking, how does Owl feel? So I'm looking for a way that Owl is feeling. I'm looking for a feeling word. Okay, so I know now that my answer has to be a feeling word. All right, now I need to think, where should I look back in the text for this answer? So I'm looking for, how does Owl feel after he lets wind into the house? So I know I have to be looking after he lets wind into the house. And that's a lot, right? So we already know this is when he first lets winter into the house. So now we have to keep on reading. If you hear any words that give you a clue to how Owl might be feeling, I want you to go like this. Okay. I'm going to read. Remember, you're looking for clues to tell you how Owl is feeling. The snow whirled up the stairs and whooshed down the hallway. "Winter," cried Owl, "you are my guest. This is no way to behave." But Winter did not listen. It made the window shades flap and shiver. It turned the pea soup into hard green ice. Ooh, I see a lot of you going like this. I agree. I think there were some clues on this page. Let's keep going. On this page, if you hear a clue, wiggle your fingers. Winter went into all the rooms of Owl's house. Soon, everything was covered with snow. "You must go, Winter," shouted Owl. "Go away right now." Oh my gosh, we heard so many clues just on those 2 pages. I want you to call out one word that gave you a clue to how Owl was feeling. Just one word. Ready? Go. Oh my gosh, I heard that word too. I heard Owl yell, "Winter, you are my guest. This is no way to behave." And on this page, it says Owl shouted. Owl shouted, "You must go, Winter. Go away right now." Ooh, when I hear those words, shouted and go away and this is no way to behave, those are all clues to how Owl is feeling. All right, get that one feeling word in your head. I've got a couple that I'm looking for. How does Owl feel after he lets Winter into his house? When I snap, you're going to yell out that feeling word. How does Owl feel? Ready? I totally agree. Nice job, Kipsters. Owl is feeling angry and frustrated because Winter is coming in and he is pushing Owl against the wall. He won't go away. He's not behaving. Owl's pretty angry and he's frustrated. This is no way for a guest to behave in a house, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Kipsters, for helping me answer those questions about the first chapter of Owl at Home. We're going to keep on reading the other chapters of this book, and I cannot wait. I miss you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye!